Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 1, Dos Cerritos is over, but we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast for our live stream review here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, or you might be listening to us in the audio version. I'm your host, Dave Mader, and I'm joined once again with a great panel to break down this episode, and we will be talking about Episode 2 as well in a separate podcast that will be following this one right after. First up, we got Ashley Millard with us tonight, the mistress of the Winter Constellations. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Good to have you with us. And, of course, our Yumeti, the Pirate King himself, it's Davan Skelhorn.
Here in Nova Scotia, they call me I'm the lesser-known but equally as terrifying Mister of the Winter Constellations.
Well, welcome, Mister.
Yeah. Good to see you, Pink Orion. I had to go and watch the animated series today just because of this episode. So we're going to be breaking this all down. Spoilers if you've not seen this episode, because we're going to be spoiling the hell out of it and breaking it all down. Of course, there's a live stream. You have a question, like to throw it out there, put it in there. Sam, of course, alluding to the fact that this is a mirror universe, not quite the mirror universe, which... Disagree.
Davan famously hates, but this is an alternate dimension. I
got nothing
mirror.
with nothing against non-shitty alternate universes.
Yeah, so we're gonna break this all down. Let's jump into what happened in this episode. Of course, I got a couple audio clips and a few things to go back on. I'm just gonna turn off your background noise there, Davan. There's a little. I think I was hearing your cat purr. I'm still hearing your cat purr, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's my cat.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
People love the sound of a cat purring. Don't even worry.
Everyone's going to think this podcast is so soothing.
Exactly. This is ASMR.
or that Dr. Tiana is.
It's Tiana.
Yeah, and Shax is there too, I guess. So,
oh yeah, he's the one making her purr.
Exactly. You know, he learned all those tricks out there from those Cardassians.
Becky Freeman.
Oh, no, that's it.
I learned it from strangling Cardassians.
Let's break this one down, guys. Of course, it's been, like a year since we were talking about season 4. We found out in between seasons this will be our final season, so we're going to be talking about that. But we left when we last left the show. It was Tendi had to go off and pay her debt with the Orions on their pirate debt with her sister. So we see her somewhere in the Beta Quadrant. We got one of those, I don't know, Kivas Fajo types, I guess, showing off his museum ship to a lovely lady.
You remember those guys with the gold things through their noses?
Yeah, but from what? Like, I'm trying to remember.
It was either TNG or DS9. I can't remember, but they were in one of those episodes.
I think it's TNG, but I
too.
know I've seen them before, but and these bodyguards seem like the Ferengi bodyguards a little bit. But I think they're actually a different species.
Yeah.
Anyway, so showing off all the wealth, with a Horgon on display. Must be a Horgon of note in this little museum. And then there's like this little, I guess, Buddha-like statue, I would say, that apparently is quite the interest of the trader's lady friend here, showing off its ruby eyes and everything else. But then there's a red alert as the Orion pirates are here. They want the cargo hold, and we meet this other woman who will come. She'll be in both these episodes we'll be talking about tonight. But the trader's not too worried because he has good defenses on the ship, and they're going to be able to withstand this attack. We see that these barriers come down in the teaser, and then basically a gamer's chair comes out for his command center, so he can play the thing. But then this lady friend turns on the trader and gets him in some martial arts moves, flips him around, and disarms the defenses of the vessel. Just as that woman is being apprehended, she takes out all the guards with some impressive martial arts, and then deactivates a hollow imager to reveal it is not just some woman, but it is Tendi herself in disguise, the mistress of the Winter Constellation. The trader, of course, tries to blast her with the phaser, but gets a knife through the hand. I always thought the orange blood was a nice touch, just to make him seem alien. These three Orion pirates, women, they show up and kind of help subdue the guards and take this guy sort of hostage. The one pirate takes his piercing thing, I guess, which Tendi at first says no to, but eventually relents that it will be okay. They're pulling it out of his nose. It's apparently prescription, so might be a little cruel. But no killing. Tendi's not big on the killing, but she's okay with the theft and the maiming and things like that. So they get the booty, and that is our teaser for the Lower Decks first episode here in season 5. We got our title card. I think that this streaking below the logo, guys, I think is new. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was a few new images.
There is. There's always different ships at the battle.
Yes, and because the hand was new this season, right?
So every season,
yeah.
I took this screenshot because every season they add another alien ship. Yeah, it started off with I think it was just the Borg, or maybe it was the Romulan warbirds and the Borg ship in the first season, and then they added the birds of prey, and then they added the clump ships and the whale probe, I think, last season. I think the crystalline entity showed up last season. Now we have Tholians as well, making their little web thing here. So I guess they had to fit it all in. But Davan, what was your reaction to the new cluster of ships?
I liked it. I was staring at it. I was trying to figure out what the suppository looking one there was. And I like it. Keeps it interesting.
It's
they can do that with the other series. Maybe have a more fluid intro for each season.
Adding things on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The suppository is a Tholian ship.
What? Oh.
It's a Tholian web weaver.
Oh, okay.
And so
the more Galaga looking Tholian ships myself.
So we got our title card for the episode, Dos Cerritos, as we see here that I guess Mariner is playing Calto with T'Lyn. As Boimler shows up to show he's going to be in the new Starfleet Monthly. There's a magazine or something that he was interviewed for because he took command last season for
30 under 30.
Watch out for. There's also if you're in the images we're seeing here in this opening scene that T'Lyn has just defeated Mariner in Calto as well. She's also quite upset about, but that happens. So the 30 under 30. Who was this on the cover? I'm trying to figure out who this was meant to be.
I want to read top 10 Riker's moments. I want this.
I want this magazine.
I want this magazine.
The official Starfleet magazine. Discovery's Tributes. Trekonomics is also
Klingon Couture.
Q-Who, the continuum awaits. I don't know. I think they knew it would be up there fast, but apparently
top 10 Riker moments.
That's what I want.
That's what she wants. We see all these like great looking things, but he was not left in the 30 under 30, and he didn't even make the 15 honorable mentions as well. So he's not even in the top 45.
Naomi Wildman did though.
Naomi Wildman made it, and she's 10. He said. I don't even think she's that old yet. In fact, so. Anyway, we're going to break that down here. But of course, we see that Rutherford is not doing so well without Tendi in his life. He's a little unhinged right now as he makes his appearance here in this first episode. He's just focusing on the work. I had to pull that as my first quote here.
I like the way work makes it hard for my brain to focus on the sad stuff.
Yeah. Work does help that. Aaron Burdett wrote this episode, and Megan Lloyd directed. Just want to mention that here. As we see that the Cerritos arrives at a thing, the crew gets called up, the lieutenants get called up to the bridge, and they're ready. But it's just one of these other interspatial flexures again, Ashley. It's like the third one this month. And
yeah. Mariner's sick of them.
Boo, interspatial flexures, I believe she says.
Boo, interdimensional portal.
Boo, indeed. Boo earns. But there could be something fun.
Why do they always park so close to the anomaly? It's like their sensors work at a range. They always just keep creeping right up on them. Just like creep a little closer there.
Because the secret is they like the hijinks.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, I wonder what this one will do.
Gets boring if they stay back at a decent.
These are intergalactic potholes that Captain Freeman says they have to patch up. That's the part of their job. So never mind.
It's another one of those high warp spatial rifts.
Exactly.
Just cleaning up your own environmental degradation, Starfleet.
Well, it could be part of that too. So they go through like this sort of intense portal here as they get pulled into the rift. It's very psychedelic, I would say, as they get dragged in, and then all of a sudden they get through. Ransom says, "Oh, it's just a fancy light show, but we're being hailed by who?"
It looked like, I think it's a direct reference. It looks exactly like what they're spinning around the sun time travel looks like in the original movies. Like they just get all like rainbowy and stretchy like that.
Yeah, like streaky and whatever.
Yeah.
Just to emphasize that something different is happening, I think. Just a fancy light show. But the Cerritos is here. Another Cerritos. Not the mirror universe, but an alternate universe, and similar but different. And they put them on screen. She's like, stupid alternate dimensions, but whatever. And we see the other Cerritos has not Captain, well, it is a Captain Freeman, but it's not Captain Carol Freeman. Instead, it is Captain Becky Freeman, the alternate version of Mariner.
Becky Freeman.
That's right.
The way you said that put 15 years on her face.
Apparently. I didn't know Becky was an older name. But I would actually. So I would think the opposite. Actually, Beckett sounds like an older name. But
is this the first time we got the answer to why she calls herself Beckett Mariner?
Yes. Yeah. This has been why does she have a different last name than her both? Because we thought that maybe her father had a different last name, but then we found out he was an Admiral Freeman as well. So it was. There was all this theory for a long time that maybe Mariner had gotten married, and taken the last name of somebody, and then that person died or they got divorced or something. But no, it's just her middle name. She's kind of like just a Jon Stewart type, going by the middle name. Professional.
Trying to differentiate from her mama.
Yeah, and her dad, I guess, too.
Doesn't want to be one of these Nepo babies you hear about.
Right. You didn't see Wesley Crusher doing that. He wasn't changing his name.
No, he went by Wesley Crusher Picard just to get even more credit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm all about the nepotism. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be an acting ensign on the bridge. It's all good. Anyway, so we'll come back to that story with the two Cerritoses. Of course, here on the Orion ship, Tendi is kind of dealing. She doesn't love doing the pirating, but she's doing it for now. Calls her sister to kind of check in and talk about what's going on.
Erica.
To Erica. I like that too.
Makes me laugh every time.
With the Orions. I created a few Orion characters in Star Trek Online, and I just followed that convention where I just put a D in front of whatever regular name I want to give them. A D apostrophe. But basically, her sister calls up to say, hey, I got a new mission for you. It's to go get this Orion hospital ship that's from 3,000 years ago from the Great Plague.
Great Plague.
the great plague that the Orions went through. If you get this ship for us, it will be a big deal with, in Orion society, give them a lot of status, and it will pay off Tendy's debt that she owes to the family, and she can go back to Starfleet and everything else, and go back to the Cerritos, which she has a nice little model of here in her office on the ship. So she's like, okay, I'll accept this mission, sister, and we'll come back to that. Then over here on the two Cerritoses, we get to see all the doppelgangers meeting each other. Here we have the two Shacks arm wrestling. Now, of course, we get like slight uniform color variations here between the two ships. I think I don't know. I think mostly just to help us differentiate. But I actually kind of like the color system on the alternate versions.
Me too.
Like a little darker, yeah.
A little darker, yeah. Especially, I think the red one in particular, I like better. Shax has a ponytail, a braided ponytail in this world.
I like ponytail Shax.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I learned this strangling Cardassians. Me too. Well, they seem to be very much alike.
Of course, the two cats aren't getting along too well.
Two cats. Yeah, they don't like strange cats, especially ones that smell like them. There's Otherford present as well, who is very physically different. Boimler's alternate, other than having the darker uniform, also has a beard. And we got the two Talins, who are...
And confidence.
And confidence,
Oh, yeah. I love alternate Boimler.
Yeah.
I love how every alternate version of Boimler is always like super good
Better
at everything.
than him.
Yeah, they're all way better than him.
Yeah.
Even his transporter duplicate.
Even his transporter duplicate is better and braver.
Boimler just sucks because he tries too hard. If he would just stop, he would be great at everything.
Yeah, I did like here with the two Talins.
You say remarkable, while I say fascinating. Remarkable. Fascinating.
Some good moments here.
And they're each eyebrow, it's the different size.
Opposite. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's raised.
Yeah, it's slightly the same, but not, and whatever. So they're kind of figuring out how they're going to get back, and they kind of, Boimler, of course, likes his counterpart.
They're pretty great, but my favorite duplicates are the ransoms. The ransoms are hilarious.
Oh, the ransoms are hilarious.
Yeah, well, I have a clip. I'll play it now because it's too funny with the ransoms.
Hey, I'm supposed to press the button, you sexy bastard. This is my universe, you steamy hunk.
Ransoms, please.
Please.
Ransoms, please. Basically,
Gotcha, handsome.
The other ransom has a bit of a mullet, or something, and the other Billups, who we also have on screen here, is he is the king of he
is no longer a virgin.
No longer a virgin.
That Phillips has had sex.
Yeah, he's totally had it. So he's a little different here, but yeah.
So the other one defers to him and just calls him King Billups.
King Billups, or whatever you want, King Billups. Yeah. Anyway, so they have their little plan here on how they're going to use the two ships. I almost said Enterprise. The two Cerritoses to create like this beam that's going to open the portal, and then one ship can go through. And the competitiveness between the two crews is kind of demonstrated in this dialogue as we're going along here. They keep asking like, where is the other Captain Carol Freeman? And they go, oh, it's really good to see you, Captain, and we're led to believe she's dead. It's kind of like their version of Parallels, I guess. From season 7 of Next Generation. As they're playing off that, because Riker, the alternate Riker in that episode, it says it's good to see you, Captain Picard, because Captain Picard dies in Wolf 359. So we're kind of led to believe that here with Carol Freeman, but no, she just got sent to Starbase 80. We'll find out later on in the episode. It's not quite that dramatic. But they're not really telling her here, and we're starting to get the sense that this alternate version of Mariner, Captain Freeman, is maybe not quite right. We see here that the two Mariners, the two Becketts, maybe talking, having a walk and talk as they're going down the corridors of the ship. And there's kind of these subtle hints as we're going along, as we see all the crew kind of standing at attention as Captain Beckett Freeman moves along here. We'll come back to that as we arrive on the planet Alpha 4 here in the Tendi storyline. They find the old Orion ship. It depends on your pronunciation. As they've beamed in here.
Green Orions.
Blue Orions.
That's my favorite gag in the whole episode. I laughed.
Since we always talk about uniform changes,
yes,
I just want to give a shout out to the outfit that they have Tendi in. It's awesome.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's so great. Like
Orion's got style.
They really do.
Yeah, I like the Orion style too. And I don't know, maybe not the men with all their crazy things on their face, but
we're saying it with an accent again. Orions.
The best part was so I'm skipping ahead here as we see the Orions arrive here, and I was
they're the Orions. They're blue Orions.
No,
Tendi are green Orions.
That's because they're saying
yeah, exactly.
Green Orions.
Blue Orions.
Green Orions.
I was like, what? I was like, this must be representing the animated series, and I don't realize it, or I don't realize what it is. So that's why I put on the season 2, episode 1, I believe, of the animated series, which is called the Orion Pirates, and it's not. It's the pirates in that episode call themselves Orions, but so does Shatner says it. They all pronounce it like that. Nichelle Nichols pronounce it like that. Everyone in that story pronounces it that way. And you're just like, that's strange, because in Journey to Babel, they say Orion, and every other time it's Orion, right? So anyway, but I think this is a fun way to like maybe pull that together, the canon of it all. As we see here, a fight breaks out between the two groups, even though Tendi tries to get them to, holster their disruptors, and they go into a firefight over this ancient Orion or Orion ship.
It was a firefight.
As well, back with the two Cerritoses, as they've now changed their position around to kind of start executing their little plan. Getting things. We had the two Boimlers working together out here. We see the two Rutherfords, and one Rutherford grabs Otherford to say, "Oh no, you don't have a suit on," but he can apparently survive in the vacuum of space. Very Borg-like, Boimler points out.
It's like, you got rid of all your guts and goo.
Yeah,
he doesn't need it anymore. And then Rutherford's watching him here as Otherford is like fixing up things, and he's like, "Oh man, I wish I was like that." He also doesn't know who Tendi is, because they did have a Tendi, but she left, and then Otherford deleted the memories because it was too sad. What's up? So there's a couple of things here. Then back with the two Becketts as they're walking along and talking about how Captain Beckett Freeman used to be the rebel, but then eventually she became the captain and kind of changed her ways. We see here, that Barnes drops this bin here, the alternate Barnes, I guess. With who's trying to help Prime Barnes, and that was also a fun part. We're the Prime. No, we're the Prime. We can argue about who the Prime is later.
You see, we can argue about who's the Prime Universe and which one is obviously freakish.
Right. Here, so then Captain, they come into the cargo bay here. We see all the fights are happening between all the alternates here. You got that.
Who are these blue guys?
They've been around. We've seen them in other episodes. Really? Yeah. I can't remember their names, but this is a specific character as well. The Khazintis.
I like the two Khazinti there. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. They're like, what the Khazinti is going on here?
What the Khazinti fuck is going on here? Isn't that what she says later? Or at some point?
Yeah. Oh, right here. Yeah. There's no interpersonal conflict allowed on my ship. This has to be sorted out right away.
Khazinti fuck is going on? Yeah, that's so funny.
Yes, Captain, I know. And we see here that the Mariner from the Prime universe, the non-freakish universe, does not approve of her counterpart's ways here. So we'll come back to that. Back with these Orion versus Orion fight as they're kind of going back and forth and trading things. And we see here that the one guy gets stabbed by the woman here. And he's going to die. So the blue Orions run away, and they kind of chase after them. But Tendi secretly heals him of his wound and saves his life, because she's Starfleet and she can't let that happen. So even he's
and a
confused.
doctor, no less.
Starfleet lets people die all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
the doctors are supposed to save you, though.
I guess
Tendy's more of a medic than a doctor, but you know she's she feels the need to help here, and
she calls herself a doctor in this episode.
She
or the
does,
next one,
she
though.
does, but I just don't think she got her medical degree. But maybe I'm wrong. But you know she's definitely capable of fixing a wound. Even this guy is freaked out. He's like, "What are you doing? That's not very pirate of you." This will actually end up starting the pirate war, kind of. That will come up in the next episode. Back with the Cerritoses, the crews are now.
Whenever that comes up, Edith, I watched this with Edith. She goes, "Enterprise." I'm like, "No, that's the Cerritos, honey."
It looks a lot like the Enterprise. Yeah, this is the whole fight between the two, the two ransoms. You sexy hunk.
Maybe my baby's a Packlet. Another Enterprise. No, honey, it's.
anytime a female character comes on screen, Janeway.
It's
like how
Janeway. Red alarm.
The Billups here from the other universe calls. He's like, I guess you guys in your universe are 0.32%, 7% bad at math or something like that because of the variance between it. So they're getting ready here to fire up their device and get the deflector thing powered up here. Yeah, this is where he kind of makes fun of him. Then the two, sorry, what's this character's name? The Temerian?
That's Kayshawn.
Kayshawn, yeah. The two Kayshawns arguing in Temerian metaphors was fun. Don't remember all those. The two lanes, and then we see here that Beckett, Captain Freeman herself, has got her little horsewhip thing,
Riding prop.
and she starts, citing discipline, and Beckett Mariner stops her and says, "You cannot do that. You can't hit people. You can either be friends with them or they can be your crew." And she's like, "I don't hit either people, friends or crew." So there's kind of a tense moment here. As Beckett is kind of gets her Temerian out of harm's way. Here we got the Rutherford and Otherford talking, where he's like, "He's awesome. He's got 3 arms, and one comes out of his chest. He's amazing." Like he really admires Otherford for all his efficiencies, and then he fixes something with his implants so that his friendship matrix will work again. And he's like, "I'm not here to make friends. I am here to make friends." Kind of gives him back his humanity, it seems. So good on that. It was good. High five. And then the two Boimlers going at it. Oh yeah, this is where Boimler will steal the pad, from this universe that he'll take back to his universe and start using, which I think is going to be a thread for this whole season. The Boimler almost kind of like when Marty McFly took the almanac in Back to the Future Part 2 and was going to get some sports betting, right? You know, and so I feel like that's kind of maybe what's being alluded to here with the Boimler storyline. But we'll see how that develops. Did any of you have a sort of thought on that as well?
No, but Kevin and I were saying in the scene just before this when Rutherford flipped that switch in Otherford's head, that this is going to cause a rift in this universe, or it's going to like change this universe and the trajectory of it, just like when Kirk changed Spock for the better in the mirror universe, that it's going to set off this whole thing because he's like fundamentally changed who Otherford is.
That's a good point. And we also saw of course, Captain Beckett Freeman of that universe gets relieved by the end of this episode. So there's also some changes occurring as a result of this interaction. So then
it's too bad that we don't have several more seasons of this for them to go back in a couple of years.
I'm so bummed that they've canceled this. Like, how many seasons have we got of The Simpsons, and how many of them are bad? You know?
Yeah.
It's just. Oh, you're muted. Sir.
I don't believe it. I believe the last episode of this season is like proof we're getting a sequel series.
Okay. Proof.
It's good enough proof for me. It's called The New Next Generation. So they're gonna bring in a fresh new, like they're even starting it with this episode, or maybe it's the next one where they're like, Boimler and Mariner each have like a group of fresh ensigns. They're gonna start rotating in some fresh ensigns. Eventually they'll like drop us one that's supposed to stick around or something like that. And eventually by the end we'll have met enough fresh ensigns that or the people they want us to continue the show with, and then the lower decks crew will be their command officers.
Oh, well, that'd be interesting if they do that. That
something like that.
Maybe, yeah. Although, what will happen to I guess they'll promote the others, like Ransom and them, or whatever, and move them on to other jobs.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So back with the Orion thing here. So yeah, Tendi gets her things stolen, and then they go, hey, that guy was dead. I killed that guy. What happened here? And she's like, well, that's weird. Sometimes people just get healed, but her Orion crew are not down with it, and they kind of mutiny, not cutiny here on Tendi, as she is, now kind of surrounded by her team, and we don't know what's going to happen to her. Back to the Cerritos. And this is where Beckett Mariner is talking to Lynn and saying, "Oh, my counterpart sucks and whatever." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think you can talk trash?"
Are you talking trash with such familiarity because you were under the impression that I am from your dimension?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, my bad.
Whoops.
Can't even look at the color of her shirt. Unbelievable.
Yeah, come on. That's clearly a deeper blue. Come on. There's no way you should be fooled by that. So this is where they're getting ready to do the move here, and then we got here Captain Freeman yelling at her crew. She says, "Hey, Mariner, I'd like to have a word with you before you leave." And so she agrees, and she says, "Hey, what's happening? You gonna tell me that I suck or something?" But then all of a sudden she throws her hands up as we hear that the alternate version phasers Beckett Mariner and nefariously takes her place, does an old tacky switcheroo. Putting her in her uniform and her in hers. She's like, "You can't do that. That's tacky as hell." Well, I'm doing it anyway.
In a way, this whole episode was a tacky switcheroo. Like I even felt like I've seen this Lower Decks episode before. Not only do they do this a lot in Star Trek, but I was trying to think back. I'm like, they have done alternate versions of them and stuff before.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, but it was still good. But
we find out the alternate version of Mariner wants to do this because she's tired of being the authoritarian. She wants to go back to being a lovable rogue, insubordinate or something like that. And she's like, she's going to go back to that. She doesn't want to be the captain more. And she's like, "You get to be the captain now, but I don't want to be." Even
don't you sarcastic Vulcan sloot?
I don't want to be captain. Well, tough. And you're welcome. Don't you give me that sarcastic Vulcan salute. Back in! So that's how that feels.
It is a great sarcastic
She
Vulcan
did sound
salute.
an awful lot like her mother there.
I'm sure, yeah, very much so. And she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing like my mother." Back to the Tendi thing here. She's surrounded, and then she kind of fights them off, takes one of them by knife point, and says, "Well, why do you want to kill people?" And they kind of admit that they don't actually want to be violent, that they do that because they think that's because they want to get out of being pirates. They
want to be like her.
They want to pursue their dreams, like how she went off to Starfleet. One wants to be a dancer, and one wants to, I don't know, I can't remember what their other.
One wanted to teach, but not too much. Maybe like an evening class twice a week.
A couple nights a week. No early classes.
Yeah. Basically, just wants to do nothing and retire.
Yeah. Basically. But got to get there first. Maybe
start at tenure.
Maybe they can defeat the Orions with the power of dance. This one kicks the console here and kind of activates the ship, and it turns back on, comes to life. And I think this is where Tendi figures out that this was a medical ship, and it had the ability to do something with the circulation, that they can gas the other Orions, Orions, whatever. So they're back to the Cerritos. Such a back and forth. Rutherford says goodbye to Otherford, who thanks him for he didn't erase his memory of his friendship, and he's been changed here now.
Saved it, no less.
The tiny little hand hug is amazing.
Oh yeah.
That he just
that made me laugh.
Regular arms, but the little arm comes out from his chest to do the hug. Incredible.
Yeah, he doesn't use his own arm. He just uses the robot arm. And then, of course, the imposter Mariner says, "Hey, what's up, friend of Mundo's?" And that causes some awkwardness there.
They're all like, what?
Yeah. Well, we'll beam over. They're getting ready to do this.
I like how Carol Freeman sees through her pretty much instantly, though.
Almost
Yeah.
as soon as she says mother.
She's like, mother, what?
Never call me that. But they activate the beam into the rift here. They get
What does Mariner call her? Mom?
Just mom or
Just mom.
captain, I guess.
Or captain.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're saying goodbye here. Oh, this is where they reveal Starbase 80 is where the other Freeman went. Captain Freeman, Carol Freeman went.
Well, and we have an episode called Starbase 80 this season.
I haven't seen the other titles.
Okay. So it'll be interesting to see how that ties in.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she says it's the worst starbase.
It's everyone calls it the worst. We did see it last season. Mariner did.
Yeah, we've seen
go
it
there.
Yeah.
Do I have still?
They just have like shitty uniforms and like.
Yeah, I think I have it here.
Here's your uniform. It's a one-size-fits some.
Oh, my sandwich! Ah, see? Told you I didn't eat it.
They say sandwich.
Sandwich.
All right, calm down, lady. You ain't my captain.
Apparently where they said all the surly people in Starfleet. Hey, what's this?
This is a nice ship. Doesn't smell like garbage or sweat, man.
Garbage or sweat. Anyway, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to the Starbase 80 here. We see a Mariner is able to get out of her restraints simply by telling the computer to do so. And she gets out here. She first goes to the ruse that she's the captain, but you know, and she even tries to hail the other ship. But the imposter Mariner pushes that away. She orders them to fire on the other ship, and they're like, "What?" And she's like, "Whatever. You love firing on other ships. You know, come on." We get more of this Orion fight as they get gassed here by the laughing gas or whatever. And sorry.
They went a little pack-led with the laughing gas.
They did go a little bit. Yeah, maybe it's the same guy who was doing it. Here was the Orions kind of going there. Here we go.
When we take this ship, finally no one will scoff at the blue Orions.
Yeah, they will fear and respect us instead of saying we look stupid in our ridiculous uniforms.
Why is this so funny? It shouldn't be. I like how we dress.
They
just look like Marvel characters or something like the.
Yeah, they have like masks and whatever.
Yeah.
And, like you know, it is an interesting look, for sure. But they must be like a certain sub group of the main Orions or something, like just a minority of Orions are like this.
They're from a different province.
A different province.
They're from the north.
Northerners,
yeah. They have purple hair and whatever. So we see here, that the green Orions are able to win the day, although they're succumbing to the laughing gas as well, as their breathers are not quite perfect. Then back to the Cerritos, where I think this is where Beckett eventually reveals, I am actually the alternate version. And then she's backed up by alternate Boimler, who says, come on, we have to help her. So they do fire on the Cerritos. Did they just gently tap my ass with that phaser? Is what Carol Freeman says. Well, who knows? This is where she says, "Mother." She's about to accept the hail from the other ship, and then the imposter Mariner stops her and says, "Mother, you can't do it." What? Mom, it's me. Yeah, I know. I already know it was you. Figure this out in about 10 seconds. And they switch around the two Mariners, bring back Beckett, Mariner, to her mother, and now Ransom has the little whippy thing for Captain Freeman.
He looks way too excited to be holding that riding crop.
Yeah, he is for sure. It's not so bad that they have agonizers in this universe, but they do have the
whips.
The things. Whips. Yeah, so they're taking her off to the brig. We also found out that this Cerritos is mostly brigs. In terms of what's happening here. She gives her the sarcastic Vulcan salute on the way out here. And yes. As they head back through the rift and back into the universe, we go back to the Orion story, and they have the ship now. They're celebrating. They fly out. We see that the Orions are still laughing and on the ground, and they think it's great. The Cerritos ends up back at a space dock here, and I don't know. Shax is trying to pick up Tiana, I guess, in the or something going on here. Captain.
I don't think he needs to try and pick her up anymore. They're a thing.
Well, he's trying, I think, from that body language, where he's just.
Yeah, aren't they already a thing?
They're already a thing, yeah.
Well, he's going for it.
He sure is.
Yeah. Then we have here that we see. I guess Captain Freeman and Ransom are having some canar here,
yeah.
Captain Freeman can't believe that her alternate ended up at Starbase 80. It's shook her. What is this going to mean? We see here, back here, Boimler to end the episode has the pad with the alternate Boimler's like biography.
He's having a rectogeno.
He made the cover.
An erectogeno, maybe. With this, and he's the Boimler effect. He made the cover of the Starfleet magazine.
From ensign to excellence.
It says, Brad, we just want to explore and study fucking quasars, is what the quote says. Right, from our intro.
That's so funny.
But just
like the beard.
They did it. Do you see that? It's number 48.
Right, because the other one was number 47, the one that we saw earlier. Probably just because it's a little different, a little weird in this universe. But Boimler hides this as Mariner approaches, and he kind of keeps this under it. Rutherford shows up with sushi, and this is where we see the new ensigns are coming in. And Mariner's afraid she doesn't want to be like her counterpart, an authoritarian boss, and she's like, "Well, you'll never be like them. Don't worry about it." T'Lyn plays a joke on them here by saying, she says fascinating. What was the other one? Remarkable.
Yeah.
Oh, she's remarkable, and they're like, "Oh no, you're the other T'Lyn," and she's like, "Oh no, I have fooled you." I like T'Lyn. T'Lyn's still one of my all-time favorites.
She's the best.
Yeah, more of that, and then back on Orion, they have the big plague ship here. It's friggin' big. This ship. So they got this back, and I guess the Tendy's out of the debt. She can leave now and go back to Starfleet. But just then, we see here that this guy shows up to say, "Oh, the Blue Orions are accusing us of unpirate-like activity, and it's going to start a war between the two groups. They've attacked our ship, and so now it's a pirate war is on, and Tendy is not going to abandon her family now. She's going to go with them." And we see here that the Orions are off to battle here as we finish out this first episode. So that is that quick plot there. And well, we kind of, in terms of fun facts, it's always a little tough to get trivia on the same day an episode releases. But of course, we mentioned that you should probably go watch the animated series episode, the Orion Pirates from season 2. Just to kind of
the Orient Pirates.
The Orient Pirates. Yeah, they definitely say Orient all through that episode.
So that's technically the name of that episode then.
I recommend everyone watches every animated series episode. It's excellent.
Eventually. Yep, eventually.
It's story-wise, it's good. This animation style.
Oh, it's
the Hanna-Barbera
reminds me of old Scooby-Doo, yeah. But I love old Scooby-Doo, so I think that's why I love it, because it's like getting Star Trek Scooby-Doo.
As I was watching that episode today, I was like, this was geared, like the animated series episode from the 70s. I was like, this was geared at kids?
Kids,
yeah. Like it's slow.
It's slow, and it's very like intellectual, and it's very much, it doesn't feel like a kid's version. It feels like it just feels like a continuation of the original series. And so I don't know. And Jane says that's right. Kids were smarter back then until they got dumb in the 80s. And I said, you got a point there.
Not wrong.
I think we had some pretty smart shows in the 80s.
Yeah. No, all our shows were toy commercials. Let's be real.
Like Transformers,
Ninja Turtles, He-Man, G.I. Joe. It was all just toy commercials.
Yeah, Ghostbusters. Yeah, you're right. So anyway, with all that out there, but let's we'll throw up our rating for the episode, and we're gonna move on to episode 2 shortly here. I know. So Dos Cerritos. Oh, sorry, I need to.
Dos Cerritos.
Dos Cerritos. Un momento, as I hide a few columns here. Hide and hide. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's throw this up for the ratings. All right. Davan, you'll go first. What do you want to give this one?
Oh, let me see. Where did I end off last season? Okay, pretty high stuff there. I do like this one quite a bit. I'm going to give this one an 9.
9, okay. Ashley?
A 9.5.
9.5. All right. And I enjoyed it. It didn't blow me away, but I really liked it. So I'll go 8.5 on this. I think it was very, very good. I want to see if I can get an IMDb score so far today. If you just give me a second. I can figure what that is. Just mention Megan Lloyd directed the episode. Aaron Burdett wrote it. And we have a new writer on this next episode, which we'll bring up shortly. But I just wanted to see if I can get the score here. So as of right now, this has an 8.1 on IMDb with 67 votes.
Well, it's somewhat recycled in the plot, but the jokes are landed.
That's the point of Lower Decks, though, is they purposely recycle.
Yeah.
That's the reason
True
for
enough.
all of their episodes are recycled.
More or less.
True.
Yeah,
That's what makes
True.
it. That's what makes it awesome. We know what it is.
It's true.
Yeah, we
That's
don't
what
have to
we
think about
want
too
out
hard.
of it.
If you're watching this for like pure original sci-fi, it's not quite the Star Trek series. For that,
The
but-
only place that I will accept another secret baby is on Lower Decks,
Secret
And it'll
baby.
also be Deanna's.
and somehow related to Spock, and it'll be okay because
Well,
it's on
of course.
Lower Decks.
Lower Decks. All right, so yeah, we're averaging a 9 tonight, and that's it. I think. I don't think I have any more trivia about this episode to mention, other than Naomi Wildman mentioned. As
I
part of
tried
the
to figure
Superstar-
out who those aliens were with the gold thing, but I couldn't find it on Google.
I also, we'll figure that out. But it's not Kivas Fajo. It's a different. group,
No,
right?
it's not.
Yeah, because he didn't have any of that in his episode.
Yeah.
No, but
Okay.
did his like servant lady did.
Maybe.
Kind of,
yeah.
didn't she?
I have to go back and watch that. It's been a while since I've watched that one. So, but we will get to the bottom of that. and-
No, it's a guy. It is another guy. Kivas Fazo tries to show off data to another collector. It's that guy.
Oh, so it is from the same episode, but it's a different character.
Yeah, I think it is from the Mouse Toys.
I wonder if I can look that up.
Now I'm gonna look that up. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, well, we're gonna move on to episode 2, everybody, which is titled "Shades of Green." We'll be ending this podcast, and we'll be starting up a new one in a few minutes to break down that episode. And as we're fully into this could be the final season. We hope not, but it seems like that's the way we're headed. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Like and subscribe, of course. Leave your comments, leave your ratings behind, and share your favorite moments from this episode. Make sure. to check out-
I was right. There it is. You see that? There he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So it is the same episode, different character. Great job. All right, we've solved that one. I'm happy about that. There was a mention here about Naomi Wildman. The only thing that she's like 10. Despite her young chronicle age, she was previously established in Star Trek Voyager as having faster developmental rate, at least from infancy to young childhood, due to her half-Katarian heritage. And the opening titles have changed. Of course, the Tholian Webs have
The
been
daughter of Grez Krendrek.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us, everyone, tonight, and we'll hope you'll stick around for our episode 2 review and all of that. And with that, I think we'll leave you with this quote tonight. We will see you next time here in a few minutes, actually. Check it out. All right. And I think we'll go with this one again. I think it was too funny.
When we take this ship, finally no one will scoff at the Blue Orions.
Yeah, they will fear and respect us instead of saying we look stupid in our ridiculous uniforms.
Why is this so funny? It shouldn't be. I like how we dress.
All right. See you next time, everyone.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.